Hello everyone, this is Vahid, and in this video I'm gonna show you how to create a real-time streaming dataset or semantic model in Power BI and update that semantic model or dataset with at least one new record per second by using a flow in Power Automate. So let's create this solution together. So first thing first is to create a flow on Power Automate. What I want to create that flow because I want to use that flow to generate some random values and use those values as a new record and update the semantic model or dataset on Power BI. In this video, I want to show you first how to create that solution, that flow, and create and generate those random values or data and update a real-time streaming dataset. And at the end, I want to show you how to save that record on a SQL database and to update a table on that database. And at the end, I want to show you how to create a dashboard, live dashboard by using that streaming dataset or a semantic model, or how to create a report and connect that Power BI report to the SQL database by using a direct query connection and update the visuals on that report per second to have a live dashboard or report. So first of all, we need to create a flow. So in Power Automate, I will click on create and then select the schedule cloud flow. This schedule cloud flow is useful if you want to repeat some actions in 1 minute, 2 minutes, or in some specific interval. So I will add that as a test demo 2 and real time data. Time and date is okay. I will leave it as is, but for the interval repeat every, I will select seconds and we'll add hundreds here. I will tell you and show you during this video how we can select and update that interval duration and how we can find out how many seconds we need to add here. So during this video, I will show you how to find that and how to update that one. So press create. When I press create, the new window with the new design will be open with the Copilot, but I don't want to use the Copilot. The Copilot is great, it's super powerful, but in this video I don't want to use that, so I will switch that to the old design of the Power Automate. So you can see the trigger is here, recurrence here, with the interval of 100 seconds. You can select the time zone. My time zone is Sydney, Australia, so I will select that one, and that time and duration, time and date is okay. I will leave it as is. So to create a sample data set and update that with one new record, at least one new record per second, I need a data set. I need a data set and I need to define some columns and values there. So for that data set, I want to use the structure of this financial sample Excel workbook. It's the free sample data Excel file. You can find it if you just search download the financial sample Excel workbook for Power BI. You can find this Excel file. I downloaded it before, and it's like this. This Excel file has 16 columns from segment to year, but I don't want to use all those columns. I only want to use these 3 with text value, this one, and this one says, and COGC with number values, and date with date and time values. I selected those columns to have a simple data set with different columns with different type of values. So 8 columns here, and I will return to this file again later. But before that, we need to add some actions and to create some to generate or create some random data for those columns. So one column has a date and time, which is okay, very easy to write a formula to find the current time and date and save that in that column each time we want to run this flow. those 4 columns with the number value are easy to update because there is a formula here in Power Automate, a random formula, and you can define a minimum and maximum, and in each run Power Automate will pick one number between minimum and maximum, and we'll use that to create a new record and save that on the dataset. But for those columns with text value, that's a little bit different than the others, because first we need to define all values for those columns. For example, for country, we need to define the name of countries in array format to define, okay, there are 6 name of countries, and then each time that Power BI, Power Automate need to select one of them randomly. So we need three variables with array with values for those 3 columns, and then we can randomly select or use some formula and randomly select one of those values. So first of all, I will add one variable here, initialize variable, and I will name it as a country for the country columns. Let me rename this as country where country. And then the type of the values in this variable should be array. And then the values here, I can type it manually to say, okay, Germany. And the second value is Australia. In 2 double quotations, and then close, open bracket and close that one. So this is the array with 2 companies. And if I want to select each of them, I can use this formula. So let me just first show that here. So if I use compose, and here I can write a formula. I can use variables, and the name of that variable, which is country, and I need to keep that between 2 single quote, and then between 2 brackets, open and close bracket, I need to add a number of the if we add the index to all of those values, consider that as a column with Australia, Germany, and USA in that column. So if we add the index there, the first value will get the 0 number, and then after that 1, 2, 3, 4 to the end. So start from 0 to the end. So if I select 0 here and save that one, here the Germany is 0 and Australia is 1. Let me add USA as well, USA, and then so this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2 here. So okay, so here I added them there, so let's test it. Save this one and test it manually. Test this one. So it run and select the first item, which is Germany in the list. If I test that and change that to 2, then the third one, which is the USA, will be selected. Let's test that one. On that, and you can see the USA has been selected. So we can select that one. And if we want to select that randomly, rather than a number, we can use random formula with minimum, which is always 0, and the maximum based on the number of the values in that array. There are 3 values here, so it will start from 0. So 2 is the maximum number. Save that one, and if I save that, run it again, then you can see it's randomly for this one. It selects Germany, which is the first one. Maybe in the next run it select the USA or select Australia. Let me remove this compose. I don't need it anymore. That was just for testing, and I need to add 2 more variable here in parallel because I have 3 columns with text values. So I will copy this to clipboard and add in parallel, and in the clipboard I have this one, another one here, and from clipboard this one. This is for country. I will change that for segment. And here, because I want to use these names, the first one is segment, country, and product. Okay, in the segment array, how can I find these items here? You can type those items or values there, or you can use these values here. So easily you can paste it here and remove the duplicate. Then you have all those values. There are 5 unique values here. This is the name of the column. I don't want to use that one, but these are the 5 items. If I want to convert them to array, it's easy. We can use table convert, and I can say that has one row and 5 values from 5 columns, 1 row, 5 columns, and need to transpose this one, copy that, paste it here, and then here if I select this second array, then it will convert this table to an array. So here I don't need to use this bracket. I only need this area. So I will copy this area, from here to here. Copy this one and paste it here. Fine. And then the country, there are few countries here. I type them there. You can use some available list on net. For example, this one, all name of countries here in array format. It's easy, just copy and paste. But for this demo, I only want to use the values from this sheet. So copy paste, do the same exercise again for country column. Remove duplicates, and there are 5 here. Just make it as a row and then paste it here. So that's done. Copy this one and paste it here. And for the other one, the last one, which is the product, let's find all the name of the products here and copy, paste it here, move duplicates, then copy and paste it here. There are 6 items here. I need to update this one to have 6 columns here. Okay, and then paste my values here, and boom, I have the array. Copy that one and paste it here. So I created those 3 variables for those columns with text value. So I named this one as let me change this one to segment. This one country is okay, and this is product, because we need to use those items. This is good. That's done. So now we have those items. We need a data set, a streaming data set in Power BI. So in Power BI, in my workspace, I will click on the streaming semantic model. Here is a semantic model. If I click on that one, here is a still streaming data set. So that's a new change in Power BI. And there are still some areas with dataset or semantic model, but during this video I will call it sometimes dataset or streaming or semantic model, so both are same. So here I will click API, click on next, name that one as a demo test real-time value, real-time data. And I need to define all those columns. First one is segment with text value. That's good. Country, text as well. Product, text. This, unit. The order of them are not important. Unit sold. That number, discount, number, sales, COGC. Yes. Number, and then last one, date, time. And I will select the date time format for that column. At the end, make sure to turn on this historic data analysis, because if you don't do that, there is no storage for that data set. So I will create that data set here, done here, and I can now add rows to that data set. So there is an action here, add rows to data set. Here in Power BI section, I select my workspace, which is demo, the dataset names. I added that demo test real-time data, and the name of the table is always real-time data for those streaming datasets. When I select that one, all columns will be added here. So here I need to define and I need to write some formula to randomly select some values, select some values for those text values from this array, and for those numbers to define the minimum and maximum, and from them the Power Automate will pick one number randomly, and for date and time I want to use the current date and time. So for segment, what I need to do in the formula, again, I will write variables. The name of that is we segment, and then in here I need to write random formula, and I know this is start from 0, 5 items is there, so the maximum is 4. We can save, that's there. So let me open these items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. 4 is the maximum there. For country, again, same. Variables, we country, and then here random from 0 to 4. That 4 is because here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the minimum and this is the max. So in there I define the 0 as the minimum here and max as the number here. Okay, save that one. For product, do the same variables. We product, but the number of the values in that one is one more than the others. So 0 to 5 because there are 6 values there. Save. For the others is easy. Just use the formula, click on this fx, and here just use the rand, and then from, for example, unit from 100 to 1000, just random numbers. Don't, if those numbers are not meaningful, is okay for me. I just want to add an update. I'll add some values and update my dataset. Here for discount, again random. So for discount 100, for example, from the 1000 to 10,000, save. Say, let me change this one from 0. Maybe there is no discount. And sales, can do the same from $10,000, for example, to 10 million. Million, yeah. Here for COGC, I can add another one for example, 1,000 to 100,000. That's okay. For date and time, I saved that formula before. So what I can do, I can use UTC here. If I write UTC here, I can use UTC now, or I can convert UTC to another time. But I'm pretty sure I saved that formula somewhere to save some time. I will copy paste that to here to convert the time to my location. That's it. It's here. So convert from UTC now, convert this time to Australia Eastern Standard Time, and use this format here. This one. Okay. So here I will click on save, and that's done. Save that. And before I run and test this flow, I want to create a report by using this dataset. The demo test, the real-time data is, or real-time streaming semantic model or dataset, and I want to create a report on top of that one. So here I will select table. Here. First I will select segment, then country, then product, unit sold, sales, discount, COGC, and date and time. So it's okay, and I want to sort that by date and time. Save that as a test report demo. So here, what I want to do, first let me refresh that, and you can see there is one item here. Why? Because I added the 100 seconds here, and if I back, you can see that behind the scene, that flow is running because I set some time for that to run again and again. So 100 seconds later, the other items will be added here. So that is the time. And then 1.5 minutes later, one new record will be added to this data set. So, but it's okay because the segment is correct, country is correct, product okay, number, unit, all values are okay, are fine. I can run it manually to test it rather than waiting there. So test this one, random, run it. That's done, and if I refresh my visual, you can see another one has been added here with new data. Let me just sort it the other way. Yes, so enterprise, France, new country, new product, and the numbers are randomly selected. But this is good, this is fine, so it works very well. But I want to add one record, at least one record, new record per second. I don't want to wait for 90 seconds or 100 seconds. And here I can't make it 1 second. If I change that to 1 second and save that, there is an error here. The lowest amount is 60 seconds. I can't go below 60 seconds. So here it should be 60. Even if I add 59 and try to save that, there is an error here. But if I add that 60 here, that will be fine. So 1 minute is the minimum time for this trigger. What should I do? I want to add some tricks here. I want to use some tricks. I searched on the net. I couldn't find any good solution for this challenge or this limitation. So I will show you this method may be a little bit strange, but it works. It works really well without any issue. So first of all, what I will do, I will add another variable here as a initialize variable here, and I will name it as a for loop here, and array as well. What I want to do, I want to add, let me just add another item here and explain what I want to do. I want to add apply to each, create a first loop here. Let me change that to first loop here and move this add rows to dataset inside this loop. And I want to say, okay, I want to wait 100 seconds. But between that, between the start to end of that duration, I want to add at least 100 new records. It's fast, so I want to add apply to each for more than 100 items here, because maybe in 1 second that adds more than one row to my dataset. So what I can do, I can add the array with 120 for this test. I will add 120 an array with 120 items here. So I created that here. This file with this now items, the sample file is available on my website in the blog post I wrote for this solution. So you can find it there, download it, and just copy paste it here. This array has 120 items. Let me create this one, and here I will select apply to each for each of these items. For item 1, run it once. Item 2, run it again. 3, 4, and do it for 120 times. And this interval is still 100. Change it to 100. So let's keep it here. I'm back there for the next round. And I will wait there. Maybe there are more items here, which is fine. Let me add another item, another column here, and number of rows here. Let me use add date and time here and use it as a count. Okay, so at the moment there are 6 items here, and I wait for the next round. So here that will, a new run will appear here in less than a minute. I will wait for that one, and yes, that's a start. So if I run that one, you can see new items in second will be added here, and you can see that in each second for here, 4 rows, new rows added here, and then 3 rows here in each in that second. This one 3 rows, and that's too much for this type of data set because there are some limitation here, and that will stop on here, and it's stopped. Six items were there, and we added 100 items, and it stopped. It doesn't fail. Here, if I search that one, it's still running, but no item, no new records will appear here. So nothing will be added here. Why? Because of the limitation of that action add rows to the dataset in Power BI and the limitation of the streaming dataset. We can't add too many records per second there. So we need to keep that 1 or 2 records. If you want to use the streaming dataset, I need to set some limitation here to add only 1 or at most 2 rows per second here. Otherwise, I need to wait. That won't fail. This will stop here for 4 to 5 minutes, and then we'll run it again. So for now, I will turn it off and we'll cancel that manually. Okay, here is cancel, and I can see there are 106 records here, but I want to restart my data set. So I will go to edit, and that historic data analyst off, and again I will turn that on. That's a way we can restart or streaming data set. If I refresh that again, no record there. Okay, so the solution, this flow works very well, but I need to add some delay there to add the row there and stop a little bit, 1 second or 30 milliseconds, and after that add the new records to be below those boundary and the limitations, be inside that boundary, and then there shouldn't be any issue. So here there is a delay action here, but that has a limitation as well. So the minimum items or minimum amount here is 5 seconds. I can't go below that 5 seconds. Less than 5 seconds, I will face with an issue. So that again doesn't work for me because I want to add at least 1 record per second. So I need to add another actions here. I couldn't find again a good way or a perfect way on the internet. So I find this way, which I want to show you now. It's again a little bit strange, but it works very well. What we need to do is to add another loop here. So I want to define a variable, add a number 1 to that, and I want to add some calculation here. So say, okay, if you add the rows, the data set in this first loop, go to the second loop, take reduce 1 from that variable which has only 1. It will be 0. If it's equal 0, exit the loop. So that calculation and checking those numbers takes around less than a second. So that's good for us. So let's create that one. First, I will add another. Let me rename this one for loop. Here, variable again. And initialize a variable. I will name it delay and integer as a type of that, and I add 1 here. So and rename that to delay here. Inside the first loop, apply to each, I want to add another loop. And this time I want to use this do until. Do until I want to say, okay, we'll use the delay variable, and when it's 0, exit the loop. Let me rename that as a second loop. And then inside that, I want to take one and to reduce the amount of that, because it's 1. I want to go through this loop, reduce the 1 and take that one, the 1 from that variable, and that will be 0, and then it will stop the loop and exit the loop and go to the next items and add a new rows there. So new row there. So here I will use a variable and use this decrement variable and say, okay, from that delay, reduce 1 from that one. So 1, whatever number is here in the delay variable, take 1 out and then check the value here. If it's 0, exit the loop. If it's not 0, do it again. So the value is 0 here. What will happen? It will, in the first run, it will come here. So it's bigger than 0. So it's bigger than 0. It will go there. So take 1 from that variable and it will be 0. When it's 0, we won't go outside of the first loop to go there to set that 1 again. So here will, in the second run, it will back here with 0 and it's 0 and it won't go through that loop. What we need to do, we need to add another action before that decrement variable to set that variable to 1. So that could be always 1. So here delay 1 and I will put this one after that. So set that variable 1 and then take that 1 from that variable. In that case, it always go through this loop. Let me save this one. Maybe it's a little bit strange, but it works. Let me show you. It's at the moment nothing in this dataset. So I will make that on. I don't want to run that manually, because if I run that manually, when it's processing that manual run, maybe the next run will be started, and then there are some overlap between those runs, and then that will touch the limitation again, and it will stop. I will wait for that to be started automatically. So let's wait for, because the total amount is 100 seconds, it's nothing. We can wait for that one. I will refresh that to find out when it started. So here. Oh, it's a start. So here, if I back to my report, I can see every second there is 1 record for that. But I don't want to hit this visual refresh every time. You can use this tool, which is available for all browser, Chrome, Firefox, or the Edge. And by using that one, you can set the interval, for example, 1 second, and click on the start, and that will update the visuals every second automatically. I don't need to hit any button anymore. So here I can see the number of the rows or record for each second is 1 or 2. It's not more than that one. So there shouldn't be any issue, and that will add at least 1 record per second. And then the next thing we need to check is to check how many seconds or minutes that will take to finalize to process a run. Each run, how long does it take to be done? So for example, this one is still running. It's 100, for example, now is 60 seconds, and 100 records have been added. So now it's 105, 7, 8, so no issue. Last time when we ran that one, it stuck at 100 because it was over the limitations. 120 is the total amount we want to be added in each run, because the total amount of the for the loop is 120. So now it takes 1 minute and 20 seconds, which is equal to 86 seconds. So now I can change this one to 90 seconds, because each run will take around 90 seconds. Let's add 1-2 seconds for to make sure there won't be any overlap. So I can reduce that to 95 and save it. If I back here, the next run has been started. So here it works very well. Still adding the values. Still adding values. Each second we will receive a new value. So if I go to my workspace, I can create a new dashboard here and say test dash, and here I can use this streaming dataset, add a tile, streaming dataset, and I can use demo test real time, which is the name of my dataset. And here I can create line chart by adding a date and time and values sales and the legend as country. The minutes data there, and you can see if I make that a little bit bigger, you can see every second there is a value here for new records here. I can add another tile here for example, streaming next, this one, this data set, and a card, for example, for the value of the discount. Give it here, and that will be updated as well. So here, let's check that one. Done. This one takes around 95 seconds. So next run will be started now because it's exactly the duration we set for each run. So 95 to 100 is good, and it works. Add a new record here, so you can test any scenarios with this live streaming dataset. You can, if you need something, some scenarios, because 3 weeks ago I wanted to test a scenario for monitoring a financial market, and I couldn't find any sample real-time dataset with new record per second, free version of that on market. So I created this version. So let me turn this off and show you. Let me cancel this run as well and show you how we can use a SQL database, update that with some new records, and then create a report with the query connection and update that with that report as well. So here I have a report in this workspace. I have this report demo. That demo report is connected to my database, to one table on my database. Okay, let me turn this off. Still refreshing the visuals. It's directly connected to that database. But at the moment, if I refresh that, there is no record here. So I want to change this flow and add the rows to that database and make that as a live report by adding at least one or more than one records per second. There is no limitation for using that SQL Server. Those limitations we had before were only for the push real-time streaming dataset on Power BI. So we don't need to use the second loop for that scenario. I can remove that, and I can remove this delay as well. And I can add another a new action here, SQL. If I select SQL, you can see there is a premium tag here. That means you need to have a proper license in Power Automate to be able to use that. Insert row is the action in SQL Server that I want to use for adding records to my table on the database. So here I can select my database here, and you can see that that table and that database has exactly same columns. That's fine. You can copy paste these formulas to here. Okay, so I can remove this add rows to a dataset because I don't want to update that dataset anymore. I want to update my SQL database. Save that one. Back to my report. If I refresh that, there is no record here, and last one was a few hours ago. So back to my flow, and I want to turn that on. When we use the SQL database, there is no limitation. So we can add many records per second, but those limitations I explained before were only for semantic model, real-time streaming dataset or semantic model. So I will wait for this run. Here it start running. So if I back to that report and start refreshing that, you can see it start to be updated. So I can use this tool again, web browser extension. The name of that is Power BI Visual Auto Refresh. If you search it, it's available for Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. Set it on 1 second and start. And you can see now it's updated with 1 second, one or more than 1 record per second. Here you can see that number of records here, and it shows all values here. There is no limitation, so if 2 runs have or 3 runs happen concurrently, shouldn't be any issue. And by using this tool, you can have a live data report by using a SQL database and connect this report to that database with direct query connection. Okay, hope you like this video and use this method to create some live dataset or semantic model or live SQL database and create many dashboards and reports and test your scenarios. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe my channel. Until next video, bye for now.